Ladies and gentlemen, Green Bay Packers training camp is here. Today marks the start of Packers training camp here in 2025, and now we have a whole month of training camp and preseason to dive into before the start of the 2025 regular season. Beyond excited that football is finally back. Now we get to really dive into this 2025 roster, see all of the training camp battles unfold, which players rise, which players fall, and who ends up making the 53-man roster. So, of course, with training camp back, there's going to be plenty of content to go over here on this channel. And, of course, that starts with training camp highlights. So we're going to go over, react to, break down all the warm-up clips we have from the first day of Green Bay Packers training camp. Want to give a massive shout-out to all the beat reporters that are at training camp in Green Bay, recording some clips, writing down notes. You guys are awesome. I'm going to link their Twitter accounts down in the description below. I would really suggest going down and clicking the subscribe button because I will be posting training camp highlights and takeaways every single day of practice. So after this video, later today, you will also see another video going over all the main takeaways from today's practice. I will also most likely have some behind-the-scenes 11v11 footage from most days of practice. And this is the only spot you're going to be able to find that, as you are not allowed to film during 11v11 portions. So if you want to see that type of content, again, I definitely go and click subscribe and then turn on post notifications. All right, guys, we're finally back, man. The energy is so high. Let's dive right into it. Let's get this thing started. And in this first clip, we have year 3 of quarterback number 1, Jordan Love, working through the quarterback rollout drill and throwing an absolute dime into that net there. Very hyped for Jordan Love year 3. Obviously, year 2 didn't go as planned, with Love suffering multiple injuries during the year, the knee injury, the groin injury, and in my opinion, never really got healthy. The Packers didn't really run play action because they couldn't due to Jordan Love's, lack of mobility. And he looks so good out here. I know it's just training camp. It's just the start of things, but he looks healthy, and that's the main thing. If Jordan Love can stay healthy, the sky is the limit for this offense. Really nice form and really nice technique there on that rollout. Throwing that thing on the run, off platform, right? Definitely learned from Aaron Rodgers with his off platform throws. An absolute dime here from quarterback 1. Of course, we got to give some love to the other quarterbacks on the roster, as there are 4. It's Love, Willis, Clifford, and here's also Taylor Elgersma, right now the 4th quarterback on the roster, but some say he will beat out Sean Clifford for that quarterback 3 spot on the practice squad. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think Taylor Elgersma, the Canadian football player here, will win that quarterback number 3 spot? I like the upside. Obviously, the Packers are pretty good at, progressing quarterbacks and turning players into solid number 2 options, like Malik Willis, where the Titans gave up on him. So after this season, Malik Willis's deal is expiring. Maybe Taylor Elgersma turns into the next Packers backup quarterback for the next couple of seasons. He looks good in this drill, similar to Jordan Love, the same exact drill, rolling out right, throwing on the run, and also finding the net with a really nice throw across the right side. And of course, it's not training camp day 1 if we don't have clips of the Packers' first-round draft selection, and that is, of course, Matthew Golden out of the University of Texas, rocking the number 22, also still wearing the Guardian cap. Was so happy that I was able to talk with Matthew Golden before being drafted to the Green Bay Packers, back before the draft in Green Bay, and man, the hype is off the charts for Matthew Golden. I think he's going to be able to contribute very early into the season. This was a throw from Sean Clifford wearing number 16, a quick out by Matthew Golden. He just looks faster than everyone else. From his release to his snap down to the top of the route, the subtle moves that he makes at the top of this route. Again, it's against air. There's no coverage here. It's individual drills. Hopefully I'll be able to get some 1v1 footage from some practices during this season. But he just looks so much faster through the whole process of the route than some of the other wide receivers on this football team. And it makes sense. I mean, he had the fastest 40-yard time coming out of this entire draft class. Really excited to see Matthew Golden in this year's camp. We have one more clip of Golden, and it's a slow-mo one, and you can really see Golden work on his footwork here with an inside release, then breaking outside for this fade route in the back of the end zone. And one thing that I really, really liked about Golden's game is his ability to contort his body very seamlessly and also high point the football and catch outside the numbers and get both feet down inside the back corner of the end zone. I believe he got both feet down. Obviously, in college, you only need 1 foot down, so that's a little bit of a learning curve there, and I can't really tell if that toe was on the white line in the back of the end zone. Nonetheless, a very nice route, nice fade route, the back end of the end zone by Matthew Golden here. Really nice throw as well for him to be able to contort his body to the outside, high point that football, and then bring it around the opposite side. It's a really good rep by Matthew Golden here on this fade route. Here at the top of the screen, we have Jordan Love throwing a quick post to Jaden Reed into the end zone. Big year for Jaden Reed. I think the Packers are going to really utilize Jaden Reed more so as a wide receiver. Last year, they utilized him a lot as kind of a gadget player with jet touch passes, orbit motions, work out of the backfield, and I still think they should give him some work out of the backfield. But now we have guys like Savion Williams, who we drafted in the 3rd round, that can do that kind of stuff, McCole Hardman, and Jaden Reed by far is our best slot wide receiver, and in my opinion, can be Jordan Love's #1 target on this football team. I think there's a lot of mouths to feed. I think Tucker Kraft needs more targets. Obviously, we're just got done talking about Matthew Golden, but Jaden Reed early last season was top 5 in the NFL in yards. He looked like the true #1 target for this offense, then really started to slow down, suffered some drops this season. So I'm really hoping the Packers wide receiver group collectively can also clean up the drop issue. Here's a nice rep of Love hitting Reed in the back of the end zone. Here's a clip of Romeo Doubs running the same fade route that we saw from Matthew Golden a couple clips ago, and I believe we're also going to see Matthew Golden run that same exact route, but this time in full speed. Romeo Doubs has been a name that's kind of popped up in trade rumors. I know a lot of people either think it's a good idea or a bad idea to potentially trade Romeo Doubs. I think it's not going to happen, at least before the regular season. Now, if we get into the regular season and Matthew Golden is by far like, hey, this is a true #1 wide receiver, then maybe Romeo Doubs becomes expendable. But, what Romeo Doubs gives to this offense can't be downplayed. I think he's a really solid outside wide receiver, possession guy, a guy that you can hit on 3rd down on a quick slant, and he's going to win that rep and get you that 1st down. So don't want to underrate Romeo Doubs at all. I think he's a very, very good wide receiver and can contribute a lot to this offense. Right now, just very excited about this receiver room. Here we have a clip of both tight ends, Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. Jordan Love's going to find Luke Musgrave across the middle here, and Malik Willis is finding Tucker Kraft on that back corner route. Really nice job getting both feet into the back of the end zone. Man, I just really want a healthy season by both of these tight ends together, right? We've yet to have that. After drafting them in back-to-back rounds a couple years ago, Luke Musgrave hasn't really been able to stay healthy. Tucker Kraft had a couple injuries here or there. We've yet to have a majority season where both these guys are healthy, and we want the Packers to run more 12 personnel, get both tight ends on the field, because we know what we have in Tucker Kraft, really up and coming tight end in the NFL, and in my opinion, a top 7 tight end in the NFL. But there is untapped potential with Luke Musgrave. If we can untap that potential and run more 12 personnel, put Musgrave in positions that he has mismatches, that's another level to this offense that could be utilized, and really hoping both these guys can stay healthy here. A very important note from today's practice, I'll see if you notice it here. You have Bo Melton in the number 16. Not only that, he is in a green jersey, meaning he is on the defense. Bo Melton has made the official switch to cornerback. Through OTAs and minicamp, he was cross-training at cornerback, and Gutekunst said, hey, he's not officially switching. He's still training at wide receiver. He's just cross-training at cornerback. But that changed today. Gutekunst said he is making the official switch, and Bo Melton has, quote-unquote, been all about it, and even switched his number to 16, and on the Packers website is listed as a cornerback. And guys, honestly, this isn't just a shot in the dark, in my opinion. I think he will make this roster as a cornerback. I think he can be cornerback number 4 or 5, and then also gives you a tremendous amount of value for the special teams and some reserve depth at wide receiver. If you can have a player on the roster that can contribute on all 3 levels, why wouldn't you? On offense, defense, and special teams, that's a valuable player to have. And honestly, watching cornerback drills from OTAs and minicamp, and I'm excited to see more in training camp, Bo Mountain looks the part. He looks like he can play cornerback. Obviously, his brother Max also wears number 16, plays cornerback. Bo, I believe, played some of it in high school. A lot of the athletes played both ways in high school, but I think he looks the part, and he can make the roster here as a cornerback. Here we have a quick clip of Rashawn Gary going through a defensive line drill here. Going to have a big year from Gary. A lot of people would view last year as a down year for Gary, but a lot of people would also view the entire pass rush unit having a down year last year, and that's why the Packers moved on from Jason Rebovich, brought in DeMarcus Covington. Really excited to see if he can pull the potential out of these guys, and more importantly, Rashawn Gary can have a breakout season to match the money that we're paying him. The final clip we have here is a clip of Kenny Clark also working through defensive line drill. Looks really fast in this clip. Clark, also another player that a lot of people would view having a down year in 2024, but he also was playing through, I believe, a foot injury in 2024. So hopefully he's 100% at this point, because we also need Kenny Clark to show up on this defensive line. But, there's other guys behind him that, have a lot of potential, like Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks. They drafted Warren Brinson. They brought in Nazir Stackhouse as an undrafted free agent. Colby Wooden is fighting for a roster spot, but Kenny Clark is definitely that number one guy still. It's just, can we get number one production out of Clark this year? So those are all the warm-up highlights I have from day one of Green Bay Packers training camp. Guys, this is year 5 of covering the Green Bay Packers during training camp. I can't thank you guys enough for all the endless support every single year. Thank you so much for coming by to the channel, leaving a view, comment, clicking subscribe. It means the world. You guys allow me to do the thing that I love, cover the Green Bay Packers, talk football with you guys, talk the Packers with you guys. And again, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming by to the channel. Again, I should be getting 11v11, maybe some 1v1 footage from most days of practice. When I get that, it will be on the channel. So be on the lookout for that. Again, you don't want to miss it, because this is the only spot you're going to find that. I can almost guarantee it. So go click subscribe, turn on post notifications. Again, really appreciate you guys coming by. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.